Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. I cracked myself up. This week, we watched the Italian classic Cinema Paradiso from 1988, but it wasn't released in the US till 1990. I'm Frank Gaffney. With us, as always, is Joel, pretty in purple, Amy Goldfuck, and Cringer, Annie King, who's in St. Martin, which is spelled S-I-N-T. I don't know. It's Dutch. Mark Wotis Gardner has a picture up. Oh, fettuccine Alfredo, he says. Hey.
Hey.
And
It's
we
a
have a
Mario and a
special.
Luigi.
Hey, Luigi, how you
Well, the
doing?
guy's name was Alfredo. Did anyone else think? As soon as I heard his name Alfredo, we just immediately I started thinking fettuccine.
Oh my God, I
Yeah,
didn't think that at all. How funny.
that's because you're not Italian. Okay. and and we have a special guest today, Andrea Garman, who this is one of her favorite movies of all time, right, Andrea Garman?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yay, Andrea.
All right, so Aim, you picked the movie. Why Cinema Paradiso?
Because it's a classic foreign film. It won the foreign film Oscar. And I just remember when it came out, it was a big deal. It was, every year today more than maybe in the late 80s, you didn't hear so much about a foreign film and how important and how big it was and how much everybody loved it. So it was really in my memory. And it's kind of about filmmaking. And three of us went to film school, and I can't believe I never saw it. So I said this was a good way to see it. And I assumed Mark and Annie had never seen it. So I thought it
Is
was going
that
to be a
correct?
good movie.
That is correct. Never seen it.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think a big reason why it was so much at the forefront of 1990 movies was because it was Miramax, and they were very good at the marketing.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
Very big marketing machine.
Yeah.
Joel, I assume you've seen it before, of course.
Yes, I had seen it before.
And you've seen all three versions.
Actually, no, I've only seen two versions.
Oh, okay. All right, so here's the basic plot. It's
I'm
set
going
in
to
a
assume the one you did not see is the crappy 2 hour and 4 minute one.
No, I've seen that one and the long version. It's the middle version that I haven't seen.
Ah,
Okay, so this movie is set in a small Sicilian town, excuse me, and centers on the friendship between Toto, a young boy, and Alfredo, an aging projectionist who works at the Cinema Paradiso, the town's only entertainment outlet. And the film begins with grown-up Toto finding out that Alfredo has died. And so then he recalls his childhood when he fell in love with the movies, and had a very deep relationship with the projectionist. So it was very much, I think, very much a father-son thing. So, okay, the writer director Giuseppe Tornatore. Did he do anything else, Joel?
Off the top of my head, I'm sure he did. I just don't know what.
And he lovingly reflects his own childhood growing up in that little town in Sicily. And this movie is really all about bonding, nostalgia, community, and the power of film to transport you into a world of dreams. And it really is a funny and charming, little too overly sentimental movie. And kind of, I think, the director's idealized version of his childhood. But it really was a magical time when going to the movies was a weekly event for people.
they really made such an event in this movie. I love that.
Yeah, before television forced people to stay home.
Yeah.
And so, as a 9-year-old boy, he's played by the Salvatore Cassio, who didn't really have much of a career after this, but he does such a beautiful job being that little Italian kid. He really does. And so he learns the power of movies really helps to compensate for his home life, really. And and I guess he's not as much an apprentice to the projectionist as he is an apprentice to the movies, something that I think we all share. So we all can relate to that. And I really find the first part of the movie just magical, really beautifully done. And of course, the town is made up of all these lovable, kooky characters, which is a lot of fun. And they're a very noisy bunch at the movie. They're very rude critics who yell suggestions at the screen. and they yell even louder when the hero doesn't take their advice. It's very fun.
And when all the kissing scenes are cut out.
Yes.
Yes. So romances are begun in the darkness of the theater, and that one Butana with a booth in the back. Friendships are sealed, wine is drunk, cigarettes are smoked, and babies being nursed, stomping feet, victories, cheers. Well, so God only knows how this crowd would have reacted to seeing an actual kiss. The local priest finds those moments too suggestive, and he makes Alfredo cut any scene he finds too suggestive out of the film before it is shown. And I don't know where he got the power to rule over the movie. He's his own MPAA.
Doesn't he own the theater?
Does he own the theater?
I think I almost feel like at the beginning he does.
Right.
After
Until
it
the
burns
other guy
down,
finds
it's the other guy who I want to think is some sort of mobster connected guy.
Well, he was the lottery winner.
Think of the
Won
Godfather.
lottery.
No, it's Don Cheech. Don Cheech is
Yeah.
the guy who buys it later on. But who's the
Yes.
guy? But I thought the guy that was
When Mark said Don Cheech, he went like this. Don Cheech. Hey.
Don Cheech. You got to do that.
But once Toto is a teenager, Cringe is doing it now.
Yeah.
But once Toto is a teenager and running the projector himself, the movie comes a little too predictable for me. There are only so many times you could see a teenager in his first crush. I don't think nothing new. His first heartbreak. I don't think anything new was there. Or how many times have we seen, the demise of the local movie theater? So, but I did smile when the adult Toto came for the funeral and looked at all the pictures on the wall, and one of them was him and Alfredo in front of the movie theater, and they were pasted onto the picture of the movie theater. Life before Photoshop. It was pretty funny. And Toto coming home reminds him and us, obviously, of all the connections he made amidst all the sadness. Obviously, he remembers all the joy and the wonder of it, really. Life before Facebook. So, and that final montage of all the scenes that the priest made him cut out is truly inspired. Such a beautiful moment. Cinema Paradiso is sometimes funny, sometimes joyful, and sometimes poignant, but it's also warm, wonderful, and ultimately a very satisfying love letter to the movie-going experience. 3.5 stars for me. It loses a half a star, really, for being too sentimental, but at least it wasn't sappy. And so the original version, which we did not watch, well, some of us did not watch, so the original version was 2 hours and 35 minutes. It was shortened to 2 hours and 4 minutes when Miramax got involved. And then that's the version that we watched. And then in 2002, the director released a 2 hour and 53-minute version. And if I remember correctly, which I had seen the longer version too, because Andrea said to watch the longer version. Most of the added footage is really about finding Elena in current day. And I think that kind of misses the point of the movie. The movie is really about him finding the love of the movies, not finding Elena. So I really did find the original version made more sense to me. Joel, do you agree with that?
Yes and no.
I know you like seeing extra footage and all of that. That's
Well,
something.
it depends on what the intention of the extra footage is. Don't get me wrong, there are movies that are way too long that get chopped
any
up.
R-rated comedy that they put all the extra scenes back in. I'm like, oh good Lord.
It really depends on the intention. I agree with you that the extra scenes with Elena do kind of, I don't want to say they detract from that point of the film, that it's really about the love of the movies and going to the movies and stuff. But I think because she's disconnected from that he doesn't really meet her there, but they do meet at the theater, or they try to. I think does make that connection. I don't mind the scenes at the end with Elena. Yes, they make the movie longer, but they don't. For me, they didn't detract a lot from things.
Well, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
It just makes the movie longer, which isn't, in this case, it's not a bad thing because it didn't feel longer.
Yeah, but I feel like him not knowing, or us not knowing even what happens to Elena, I think makes it more poignant. Because then this is what happens. You lose track of somebody,
Sure.
and that's the end of that relationship.
Yes.
So to go on that journey to find her again.
But it's not that he went on a journey to find her. He accidentally, I mean, the way the film sets it up is when he's back in town, he accidentally sees someone who looks exactly like her,
right,
mistakes her for her, even though she should be much older, and then discovers through kind of stalking that she's actually Elena's daughter. And they wind up reconnecting, but realizing that what they had can't, it ended for reasons. It can't exist anymore. And I love the bit where, because the one thing to me that it brings back is all the receipts. Alfredo just kind of says, you have to keep all the receipts, and he nails it to the wall. And that's, you just see the receipts kind of growing. There's no important to them other than that. This gives them import because she writes a note on the back of one of them. And he goes back in right before they destroy the theater to find it. And I think that is important in that step because it brings it back to the theater again. So
yeah, no, we see that note in this version too.
Oh, do we? I don't remember. So
no.
Okay.
I don't either.
All right, so Joel, go ahead. What do you love this movie too?
I do. It's everything that you said it is, Frank. It's it's lovely, it's warm-hearted, there's romance, not just physical, but that mental romance with the movies. I love the shots of the beam of light coming through the lion's head in the theater, and we don't have theaters like that. We don't have projection booths like that anymore. It's a sad and lonely thing that has disappeared. And this movie makes that even more poignant these days, because back when it was made, you still had, real film projectors.
Yeah. When this movie came out, I was working at 20th Century Fox, and going to the movie and seeing that stream of light. And and so funny when somebody would walk in front of it and you see them.
Oh my God, I had a friend who was a projectionist at the Fresh Meadows Theater, and he took me into the booth, and I went like that in front of it, and you totally could see my hand, and he got in so much trouble.
And of course, the days before multiplexes.
Yeah.
Sure. And I too was at 20th Century Fox, and I was working with the booking team, and they were the ones who had to hire the trucks to get the film reels into the theaters. And if the truck was late, you didn't have a movie, and there were multiple reels, and the projectors had to change it all manually. It's incredible. And it was in like 1990.
And I love the fact that the movie brings up the whole concept of a bicycle print. They literally would bicycle the movie back and forth between theaters, between showings and such.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a note about that.
and then he said he had to put the clip back in the movie, and then he never put them back.
Right.
So the next person got an edited movie as well.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
All right, Joel, how many stars?
3.5. Just like
that's it. Cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Did you have any other observations, Joel, before you got so rudely cut off by Amy?
No, it's a wonderful film. I've seen it a few times. I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I would gladly watch it again.
Yeah.
All right, Annie King, this was your first time. Did you watch it while you were in St. Martin or before you left?
I watched it here, and I watched the 3-hour version.
Oh, okay.
That's what's on Amazon. And so really, I agree with you. The beginning was just so beautiful. I thought the little kid was fantastic. I love that little kid.
I mean, I knew that little kid growing up, or maybe I was that little kid. I don't know.
But just so much fun. And then I felt like I kind of agree with you that when I got to the part with Elena in present day, it kind of lost it a little for me. It went nowhere. it felt very contrived that she was back in this little town that, you know, and they couldn't do anything about it because she was married. And was it to his friend from school?
Yeah.
Was it to that same guy? You know,
Yep.
that, yeah. And oh my God, that was the funniest when he's pointing to the picture and he says 5 times 5 is Christmas. I like just cracked up. That was so funny to me. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a good movie to watch. I'm gonna have to go with 3.25 because I felt the end was a little more with the whole Elena and the stalking thing, and not going anywhere with it. Lost it for me.
And so then that just reminded me. So it kind of got to the same point where when he left her when he was a teenager. So we really got to the same ending, right?
Yes.
So yeah. All right, cool. But you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Now you could watch the shorter version and like it even better.
Yes, I did watch it in 2 sittings, half
Yeah.
and half.
Yeah. I did read that Roger Ebert, he gave the original movie 3.5 stars, but then gave the director's cut 4 stars. But he said that the original was the better movie. Excuse me, Roger. That's not correct.
Yeah.
Aim, so this was your first time.
Yeah, and I really agree with everything.
You have notes?
Very few. I really agree with just about everything you all said. One of the notes I wrote referring back to what Joel said was the scene where the bicycle kid had to bring one reel back and forth between the 2 theaters just ended without any resolution. Why? I was like, what happened? The film, the reel was running late.
Yeah, he was.
So I thought this was because it was cut.
Nope.
He found the girl and he was having sex in the field. And that's why he never delivered the movie.
Oh, so that's how all right.
Yeah, you never see whether the other theater gets the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
He just find he as Annie said, he finds the guy having sex in the field with the prostitute and then picks up the reel and leaves. So
okay. And also when I read the synopsis on IMDb that somebody half-assed wrote, he said he was writing longer versions. So I thought, okay, he's going to write things that I might not see. Did we see Alfredo tell Elena to stop liking Toto and leave him?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
Well, no, it's in the longer version.
Okay, so we didn't see it in the short version.
No, I don't believe so. It's been a while since I've seen the short version, so.
Oh, okay, that's a pretty interesting little subplot that he's the reason that she left.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Right. As did I.
It said we learn later that, and I remember misting up my eyes at the end. It was just so beautiful. I don't remember exactly at what moment. It wasn't when we were watching all the kissing scenes, but something at the end was so beautiful. And oh my God, when Alfredo told the little boy, the teenager, the 100-day story and stopped at day 99 and said, he stopped showing up after 99 days. I don't know what the meaning is. I was like, no.
Yes.
Oh my God, that killed me. I need to know what happened.
I love that.
Brilliant. I loved it. I thought you were going to say something, Joel.
Oh, no.
So it was just such a heartwarming, touching, beautiful movie. The only thing I felt was there were moments where it was a little too long. Like I didn't need to see so many clips of the movie they were watching. But I did love when they were watching it and all the kids came on the boats to watch the movie. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it 3.
And when he moves the projector to screen on the
oh my God, I loved that. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially when the guy came out, he's like, slammed. It's just great.
And then trying to collect money from them. They're like,
right.
Yeah. So many beautiful moments in this movie like that. It really is a film lover's delight. But I am gonna go with 3.25 stars.
Even though you watched the shorter version.
I think I missed out. I wish I had seen like the 2-hour and 30-minute version. Even though there were moments where I said this needs to move on, cut.
I don't think that version has been available for viewing, at least in this country, for if ever.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It was only in Italy.
Oh, and then one thing I was thinking was how how horrible I thought the dubbing was on so many voices, especially Alfredo. And then I learned, if you all haven't read the trivia, he actually did the whole movie in French and then dubbed himself or something into Italian. So that's why his mouth very often doesn't match what he's saying, even though he's talking Italian, you can tell. And that was driving me crazy. Because he's
Who's
French.
watching their
he's
mouth? All
French.
I'm doing is reading.
I know. Well, one eye goes this way and one eye goes that way. I'm like Marty Phillips.
Let's see that.
You remember I could do that.
Ow.
All right, good. So it was your choice, and you give it 3.25.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, you have the picture up, Fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
means you like this movie.
I did. I liked it far more than I expected
Fine
to.
You
movie.
liked it far
Imagine-
more than I expected you to, honestly.
Yeah.
I
A
did not
foreign
think
film, reading subtitles. All it had to be was black and white to be on your X list.
Well, that's the thing. I watched the trailer, but without sound, and I thought it wasn't black and white too. So I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm totally screwed." And I was pleasantly surprised. But I will stay. I'm going to go off script for a second. I just learned about 20 minutes ago when we started that this movie was from 1988. I thought it was 1968, and that's why the whole time I'm like, the math doesn't work. How does he age so much in 14 years? I was like, something's wrong here. So I feel like an idiot, but I'll take that out of my notes now.
Funny.
I'll start off with a few the bad parts that I didn't like. This I guess I'm different from everyone else. I thought the kid was a great actor, but Salvatore as a kid, holy crap, he was such an annoying bratty little shit. I did not like him at all. And everyone in Sicily back in the day was a hitter. Holy crap, everyone gets slapped for everything. I've seen less beatings in UFC fights. All right, so but when
when you're an Italian kid, that was life. That was real life.
they were
The
slapping
wooden
adults.
spoon was your enemy.
Sure. And when that kid started the projector while Alfredo was taking a leak, I wanted to boot him out the window. He
my gosh,
really annoyed me.
So funny.
And yeah, Don Cheech also. I want to go back to that because Don Cheech is the mobster in Sicily that Don Corleone killed in Corleone. So I wonder if that was a little like love letter to The Godfather. Like how many Don Cheeches are there in Sicily? You know, especially
That's
at the same time. And that was the worst group of townspeople ever. I mean, I get that they were quirky, but first they throw a fit and riot for not being able to watch the same movie again in a row. And then when the fire starts, they'll just leave. Like nobody thinks to save him except for the
everybody's letting this guy die except the 9-year-old boy has to drag him down the steps.
Which I was laughing at watching him. You could obviously tell it wasn't him dragging a 180-pound guy.
I was like, how is he not bashing his head on every
exactly.
step?
He would have killed him anyway.
Yeah.
That's why he's blind. And when that scene came on, when he first came on, all I said to myself is, it was soap poisoning. Does anybody get that, Joel? A Christmas Story.
Oh, right. Yes.
He has a whole dream sequence when he comes out. He looked just like him with the sunglasses and the pointer, the stick. All right. That joke was lost on you guys. Anyway, but when Alfredo, when the kid Salvatore does rescue him, that's when I first started liking him. And the passing out of handkerchiefs for everyone to use the same handkerchief in the movie theater totally skeeved me out. That was disgusting. And I only know of I'm going to say it wrong here. So Ennio Morricone, is that how you say?
Close enough.
Close enough.
Morricone.
Hi, Morricone.
Morricone.
Hey.
I only know of him because of this group, and I have to say, like, I want to get into him a little bit more now, because I really enjoyed the score.
Just to touch on that real quick, just because one of the things, it'd been a while since I'd seen the movie, and I didn't remember his score, but I'm sitting there listening, and I'm going, oh, so he stole from himself a year before, because the theme for the movie has a lot of tonal notes from the slower love themes from the Untouchables, and I'm like, that's all that's going through my head is.
Okay.
Well, I read that the theme was actually written by his son.
So
Andrea, I thought, his daughter did a thing, Andrea.
It was just the love theme, and the love theme was killing me because it was completely stolen from Guys and Dolls. I've never been in love before. That was the theme.
Okay, then he stole it. If he stole it from there, he used it in the Untouchables first.
Oh,
So maybe I take back my comments about how good this.
He's terrible. He steals from himself.
Yeah, I like the movie a lot more than I expect, and the ending reel was very touching with all the kisses. I caught a couple of little titties in there, so grazie Alfredo. 3 stars for me, which again, for a movie like this, that's practically 4 stars. I'm thank you, Amy. I was pleasantly surprised.
Thank you for enjoying it. And one thing I forgot to say is the teenager who played Salvatore. Oh my God, he's the most beautiful thing I had ever seen.
He
It was
was
a
good
good
looking.
And he went on to have a career in America. God, is he beautiful?
You know, that just reminded me though, one quick thing. When he first talks to Elena and he calls himself a Struns, do you remember that? Oh, you Struns. It translates in American as well. Danielle's family says that's like a turd, or like you're an idiot, whatever. And when I first started dating Danielle, we went to a fair, and she, you know, when you can get a t-shirt all graffitied up and spray painted on, whatever. She got me one with that said Struns. So, and I'm wearing it. Like, what does this mean? She's like, I'll tell you later.
Oh my God,
I
I
had
love
that shirt for years. So
Oh, you still don't have it? No.
it's
I
gone.
loved when he was calling himself an idiot and went Bhutan. I was like, oh my God, I know that word.
It's the same scene. It was the same part.
Oh, okay.
So now we get to our guest speaker today. Andrea, have you sold any subscriptions? Did you? Does she look like a Time Life operator?
Yeah.
I'd like to pledge $100.
6 months for $19.99.
So Andrea, this is actually a movie I had never seen, and you made me watch it
I
because it was
did.
one of your favorite movies.
I don't know what version I watched.
But
Listening to you guys.
right? But you've seen him tracking down Elena in the current day, right?
I only because Joel, I think, gave me some because I told him it was my favorite movie. He gave me some of the extra scenes or something. I watched them once and I was like, I wished I'd never watched it. I mean, I think just on the love front, part of what kept me thinking about the movie was the mystery of it at the end. I loved the like cliffhanger kind of thing where he sees her. This is what I experienced, and I didn't know there was more footage. That he sees her, and that was it. And it was always this question mark in my head, what happens after that? Because but I was almost glad that it ended that way. I know, and then because after I saw the scenes where it all unfolded and he met her and they talked it over and all that, it ruined. I never wanted to see it again, and I was sorry I saw it.
Yeah, for me, it definitely detracted from the beauty of everything that had gone before.
Yes, and to answer something that Mark said about the Toto, the boy, when he has such a passion for film and for movies that when Alfredo left, he wanted so desperately to get his hands on the projection, on the equipment, that when he left the room, he just couldn't help himself. I think this passion that he had was coming out of every pore, and he ended up,
like any 8-year-old kid,
he couldn't wait to get his hands on it. So, it shouldn't piss you off. It's just, he couldn't help himself.
The reason it pissed me off is because I felt like that was his personality with everything. He didn't listen to anyone. He was always just doing, he never.
Yes, but that's part of his progression as a character. So he starts out as this, little annoying little kid, and he becomes an actual person under the tutelage of Alfredo.
I get it. I just didn't like him as a.
But it all had to do with the movies. It all had to do with the movies. His mother gave him money for milk. What does he do? He spends it on a movie ticket to go to his favorite. He was just absorbed. He was just
okay. Totally... So let me just respond to that. After Alfredo was so nice to him constantly, when Alfredo went in to go take his high school equivalency test, whatever that test was, he had to go take.
Yeah.
And he refused to help him. I was like, what a little, that's what really pissed me off. He gets all this help from everyone else, and then this guy needs help from him. What does he say? No, unless you let me in the movies again, or whatever it was.
Hadn't Alfredo previously said, don't come back here? So now he was just pissed off.
Well, you also got to realize a little kid taking a test where their teachers are walking around the room
Yeah.
would be very, like, no, I don't want to get in trouble. I could get in real trouble,
He shook him down. He shook him down.
Yes, it was
Well,
100%.
But
He shook him down.
that was their relationship in the beginning. It was
Yeah.
very much
Yes.
Alfredo was constantly kicking him out and yelling at him until that turning point where he sticks up for him because he does see some value in this child.
I guess it's best I don't have any children myself. That's all I'll say.
Well, we're all thankful for that.
Yes.
So yeah, I think I just I don't know about overly sentimental. I just think it's perfect. I got lost in it, and I loved the film, and I loved the score, and I don't know, just a beautiful, beautiful film.
I have to tell our viewing audience, all three of you, Andrea actually has a poster of this framed in her house. That's how much she loves this movie.
That's right. Well, my cousin actually found out that I liked the movie. I'm looking at it. It's right in my hallway right here, right outside my office. And he bought me the poster, and I had it framed. And
he's like, turn the camera, let's see.
Yeah, can you move?
Yeah, no. You're looking at it behind Mark. It's the same one.
That's great. So, is this a 4-star movie for you then, Andrea?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Well, we talk about remote droppers, but I don't really think this movie is shown on TV very much.
No. And I think I don't even know when the last time I saw it was.
Well, it's time to watch it again.
Yeah.
Should have watched it before today.
Yeah, when she
You only found out yesterday, right?
Right, last night.
You could have gotten up at 6:30 and watched the movie.
Sure. In another alternate universe, which I think Mark would have preferred a movie about.
Yeah, we talk about multiverses all the time, so that would work out perfectly. All right, so Joel.
Wait, Andrea, you said 4 stars, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she said 4 stars. In the realm of loving movies, is this like a big top 10 one? Movies about movies? And while Joel is thinking about that,
it's around there. I've never sat down and made that kind of a list.
Oh, a list?
Yeah,
I make a list.
I'm
terrible.
So done
Who would
with
make so many lists?
I don't know. But it's definitely in it's around there, let's say.
Well, we just had a new addition to that list just last year.
What?
The Steven Spielberg movie.
Oh, The Fabelmans? That's way down the list.
Yeah, but it's a movie about love. How
sure it is. Movies. Yeah.
Joel, what's number one? To digress for a second.
Again, I have. It's not something I've given much thought, so I wouldn't.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure. Make the
Day
list.
for Night.
Day for Night is definitely up there. 1 or 2, definitely. I'm just it's too early on a Sunday morning to be thinking about shit like
Monday,
that.
Joel.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It's too early on a Monday morning after I just went through a screening of Schindler's List and then a discussion of Oppenheimer last night.
Is that today?
Yeah, that's
you went to see Oppenheimer, or you watched it at home?
No. For my Temples Club, we're watching Oppenheimer, and I haven't seen it since July. So
I wish I saw that one.
I'm going in blind in this one, and then the National Film Registry film for today is Schindler's List.
You're going in blind? Should we call you Alfredo?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Folks, I have to go on a mission to the carriage house and decorate it for the show coming up. So I have to be there at 11. So I must sign off. But it's been fun, children.
Wow.
Thank you for joining us, honey.
So good you could join us today.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very happy, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the session and a good day. Okay. And Amy, tomorrow's Monday.
Today is Monday.
That's
bye, guys.
Bye. Talk to you soon.
I certainly got
ready.
Nobody
knows what day it is. It's Monday.
You do all realize we're still recording, right?
Yes.
Nobody's watching.
No one's watching at this point.
Nan was very curious to see what Mark thought of this movie. She had never heard of it. And I said, I don't think Mark is going to like it. So she's watching. At least she watched a little of it.
Right.
Probably gone.
I really did. I really do enjoy this movie, and this is the third time I've seen it. So, Cinema Paradiso is not available on your usual streaming services, but you can rent it for $3.99 on Vudu. Is that what you? No, Annie King, you watched it on Prime, right?
$4.59.
Damn.
Yeah. See, more money. I
Buy
only give you.
$4.99.
I only tell you the bargain price.
Yeah, but the $4.99 was for the extra footage.
Yeah, I don't know what's on Vudu. Or you could get it from your library. All right. Next week, we're watching another classic, an American classic, Superman from 1988. Although at the time it was
78.
called
What?
78.
78.
78. I wrote 98. Although at the time it was called Superman the movie.
The movie, yeah, that's
Do
right.
not confuse people. And that one is on Max if you subscribe to
Okay.
it.
Just so you're aware, yes, that's what it was called in advertising, so people didn't confuse it with Superman the serial or
TV
whatever the
show.
fuck they were.
The TV
But
show.
the movie, there was no TV show at the time.
Oh, but still people knew about it. It was in syndication forever.
Well, the movie's title on screen has always just been Superman.
Superman.
So, yes.
Interesting.
Are you
Anyway.
done with your tirade?
No, I'll have more next week
I'm sure.
because I will also be watching the longer version of this.
And part 2, right?
No, just part 1.
I remember Stuart Klein's review for part 2, and he said it was 50 times better than part 1. So maybe we should
50
all watch
times
1
better.
and 2. Yeah, he
Two-
just.
I'm doing both.
Yeah, I
Two-
think it
Just so you know,
really
it was
is.
on my list for next year.
Oh, okay.
No, I think, and last year I just watched. Why are we talking about this?
We're still recording.
This is next week's discussion.
All right, so let's
4
say goodbye.
stars.
The balcony's closed, and also with you. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
I'm Frank
Go
Gaffney.
watch the movie.